On today's ASMR episode of Planet of the Apes, I have broken into the chips. I am a chip whore. I am a whore for chips. I'm going to be modifying my carbs for the rest of the day. Thanks, JJ.
If this is the ASMR episode, hang on.
Y'all are
How long can we make
you
this
guys
go?
are my worst nightmare.
Take your stinking paws off me, you damn dirty ape! Exercise would an ape make a human down. It talks. We are the keepers of the divine bound. It is our only reason for survival. We are determined to know what the apes want, war or peace. The only good human is a dead human!
Hello and welcome to Minute of the Apes, the daily podcast where we break down every minute of the Planet of the Apes movies. And I have to
One
deal with
sound at a
that
time.
Richard and Sean are actually working on the sounds that drive me insane. So I'm a chip whore too. The guy that sits next to me at work, he literally, when he eats a chip. So when you eat a chip,
As mouthy as you can.
do you put it in your mouth and then begin to chew? Or do you...
Oh, he chews as it goes in?
Yeah!
I've never thought of it.
I
What do I
hadn't
do?
You know what this reminds me
Does
of?
the chip have salsa on it or not?
I'm going to assume no
I'm
because
saying dry. I bet it's like a bag of Doritos.
that's the way you should eat it.
You're a put it in your mouth chew rather than destroy it as it goes in.
You might hear one, and that's it. Because now, to us, as we internally hear it, we hear the sound within our skull, and it sounds loud. But the rest of the world really doesn't hear
I
it.
typically put it as much as I can before biting down on it. I usually close my mouth pretty
He
quickly.
literally sits in the
poor
queue
audience.
behind me, and it will be this.
Chewing it as it goes in.
I'm like, are you 3 years old? Put it in your mouth.
No,
It's like people who go to the bathroom and pull their pants down when they pee.
Oh, yeah, I've seen that. This reminds me of Babylon 5 because I can bring everything
Of
back.
course it does.
Babylon 5. Are you fasten zip or zip then fasten?
I don't remember that part of Babylon
you
5.
what?
Are you fasten zip or zip then fasten?
Fasten zip.
I'm a fasten
I'm
zip.
a fasten zip kind of guy. Somebody asked the other day, are you somebody who puts your socks on first before you put your underwear on? I had to think about it. Well, I actually think I go back and forth. I think it just depends.
It
I
does
always put
depend.
my underwear on
I would
first.
say.
Do you? I think I put socks on first before.
I would say normally I would do underwear first, then socks, but that's just because the layout in my drawer, I'm left-handed, so my underwear is on the left, so I grab that first.
And to Sean's point, I'm a very, if there's one thing I am economical 100% about is getting ready in the morning. I can be ready in 10, 15 minutes where my wife and daughter take 6 hours. I literally, it's like on the counter in front of me where I
call them
shave.
out. You call them out on the podcast.
I have no problem with that.
It takes you 6 hours.
Meow, meow, meow.
That that's
Called
one.
out.
But anyway, I put my stuff here with me, and when I'm done shaving, it's like I grab what I need, and there it is. And then the socks are with the shoes back over here. So it's always, where does the path lead?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How does this have anything to do with Minute of the Apes?
With chips eating.
That's there we got back to it. So
To
we're-
ASMR. That's how it
let's
is.
go, because I think people turned in
At some point, they
tuned
want to
in
hear
for
about the
minute
podcast.
40 of Escape from Planet of the Apes and not underwear or socks first talk.
Hey, it's a party on this minute, so we're just continuing that party.
There we go.
go!
All right, we're starting minute 40. We got a planet's worth of humans plus 2 living apes and 1 dead ape.
Here we go for this party-tastic 40th minute of Escape from Planet of the Apes.
Very human. Very good, very good.
Excuse me. Madam Zira, I represent Fur and Feather, a pet magazine. And
Do you think I'm a pet?
Well, yes, I do, rather.
Say, why don't you try some?
What is it?
Well, it's sort of like grape juice plus. Wait, just a sip.
Madam Zira, what is your favorite fruit?
Grape.
That's the way it was tonight at the Beverly Wilshire Hotel.
I think we did this whole thing backwards. We're going to start minute 40 with the Cornelius looking around before answering a question and ends with Cornelius watching the news.
Did I not ask you what happens?
No. So there you go.
Hey,
we
guys,
did it.
guess what
All
happened?
right, hang on. Hang on.
You just listened to
We did it backwards.
Screw it. I was going to try and say, how do we fix this?
We
but
don't.
I like this. This is Friday.
It's Friday.
We
We
just
just
throw it in
roll with
there.
it.
Well,
Yeah.
we really stick to the script a lot.
This
But
is the
every
first
once in a
time
while,
we've messed it up.
I do think it is. And so we're having fun with it. Screw it. So here we are. We're in the party.
So we're to the question now. The
answer-
previous
We're to the
minute,
answer now.
we were
Answer the question.
asked, how do you find the human women? And we have Cornelius very wily saying...
Oh,
Go ahead.
Us? You want me to say it?
Say it,
Oh,
please.
very human.
Ta-da-ta-ta-da-ta.
So then we follow.
I did put a note. Very human. This motherfucker. Can you give a straight answer? What a bunch of hugger-mugger.
So then the camera decides to track a woman over who walks over to Zira, calls her a female reporter. Her notebook is poised. She says, "Madam Zira, I represent Fur and Feather Pet Magazine."
How do they get a press confidential or credential to get in there and ask questions?
I want to know, first off, since when did Madam become the moniker which we address the female? Why is she? They call him Dr. Cornelius. Why isn't she Dr. Zira?
Yeah.
Why are they speaking down to her? She's Madam.
She's woman. She's not man.
Just so you know, Fur and Feather is an actual magazine.
I knew that. I have a subscription.
FYI, it's an actual magazine.
You have a prescription?
I do have a prescription. So, okay.
The Fur and Feathers
So where am I
asked
going
the
first?
important question of...
I'm more than the questions are these innocuous things that don't really show us anything about the character, what the character is about. And fine, if you guys want to go back to the questions, it's fine. But really what the moment is about is getting liquor into Zira's hand. Is this them
the
wanting
grape juice?
Yeah,
Plus?
to make her into a lush?
Well, can we talk about the fact?
You
I'm
can.
sorry. She goes, "Do you think I'm a pet?"
Yeah, she
And the
basically...
reporter goes, "Yes, I do." Rather, and everybody chuckles. I'm like, "That's kind of insulting."
Well, even
Stop it,
Zira
bitch.
chuckles to an extent. She just
I did-
blows the question off.
I did have...
You damn bitch.
I have
Seriously, I
that-
would have been like,
I
Yeah.
have
"They're
that
not
note
doing
here.
that here."
I have that note. She basically spits in Zira's face by saying she's a pet, and Dixon is laughing along with this.
It's a weird.
There's some betrayals of character across the board in that moment, because you would think that Lewis would take up for her. You do think that Zira, even with her spunk, would say, "Excuse me, on my earth, you know what? You don't even worthy of being my pet."
And that was my second note. Why did Zira laugh along? I think Cornelius is going to get an earful tonight.
Just so you know, the scene with Cornelius was supposed to take place after this interaction and the grape juice,
Okay.
which would make his response a little more sense if we got the sense that he'd been drinking already.
Yeah. So, champagne is grapefruit plus.
Well, champagne's also not in a glass when you put your hands around it.
Oh, true.
Because Kim Hunter, because she can't drink in that mucking makeup,
Oh, true, yeah.
intentionally grasped it so her hand's almost in a goblet
Hide
shape
the
to
fact
hide
she's
that there's
not
no
drinking?
liquid in there.
Gotcha.
And I looked numerous times. I'm like, okay, and they might have put some kind of reflective material on it so it looked like it,
light.
but there's nothing sloshing in there.
And my note is, and now Zira is an alcoholic, you f***ing enabler.
It was a little like we're at a party, Zira. Have your first drink. It's totally fine. You'll be okay. I'll drive you home.
All the cool kids are doing it. Don't you see all the other people riding the assault bike and the...
I was a little kind of surprised by Lewis's kind of
Drink it. Yeah, it's just
pushing.
grapefruit
Just-
plus.
It's like grape juice plus. I mean, I would have said something like, "Hey, do you have any type of beer?" Of course, I'm.
Well, I mean, yeah.
I'm trying to explain something that we're trying to condense down into a funny line.
You
in a
would
moment.
think
And I'm
that
like, this is what I would've
somehow
told her.
he would ask in the future, do you have alcohol? Because fermented grapes is not a new process. That can happen naturally. If it falls and it rots,
True.
it starts fermenting.
And
so
and why do we have all those things? They originally did it to clean the water so they could drink it and those kind of things. So you would think
So
that
you
they
think
sort
they
of
would
had
have
something
some
too.
sort of alcohol substitute in the future, and this would not be a surprise.
I did expect when it became Grape Juice Plus, at that point he would pull out a needle and go, "This is called heroin. It brings out the hero within."
I was
You know,
expecting
it's like-
Michael Jackson to show up and say, "And this is my Jesus juice."
It's just a very
Uh-huh.
weird
But
moment.
what Dane is trying to get out of the scene is that things are getting a little wild. We've now introduced drinking to them, which makes them more conducive to
People riding teeter-totters.
ride on seesaws.
And-
yeah.
And my note I had is, okay, they cut the scene out where you see people doing bumps of cocaine because that's why they're on the fucking rocking horse, right?
I have never been so drunk to be this ridiculous on a seesaw.
Me either. And
And I've
especially
been drunk on a seesaw.
who are
before.
the okay? So in
Well,
this
maybe a hobby
moment,
horse.
who are these fucking people in this
What's
room
his
with
name,
them?
Hobby?
Are they publicists? Are they government officials? I finally got that. That just sort of completely took the wind out of my sails. But who are these people that are riding the
Hanging out
teeter-totter?
there, yeah. Well,
they're just
from-
hangers on. And if you are talking, they're bumping a couple of lines. Maybe they are the people supplying it.
It's the Fur and Feather magazine group. They're here. They get
They're as
rowdy. Come on.
So when we cut to a shot of Cornelius, by the way, what major presidential suite in the world has a set of china on the wall behind you?
hanging out. Yeah.
I looked at that and I was like, "Do you really stock the china there? I don't think anybody cares about that."
There's a certain amount of like what's it called? I can't think of the name.
Hubris.
Debauchery.
Oh, okay.
There's a certain amount of element to these people on the seesaw jumping up and down, having a wild time, with people gathered around them laughing.
Right.
That implies that everybody has just gotten drunk,
Yeah.
and there's a level of
They're off
debauchery,
their
like
tits,
this
yeah.
party's about to devolve into something crazy. And then you flash back to Cornelius with the china behind him, and Stevie's behind him, and everybody's just laughing at the scene of people being ridiculous on a seesaw. And I'm like, this party's gone crazy.
And what-
Let's go skinny dip. Like, I mean, that's where it's going, right?
Calling it debauchery is perfect because my next note was, then you find out this is a news report that they're doing. They pull out and you find out this is on TV. If I saw that going on, I would say, what the f*** is the government doing, spending my money
Oh, I thought the same
throwing
thing.
this big party for these chimpanzees that are showing up?
I never think it was a sex party.
Yeah.
Like, they're all about to have sex.
My next hearing is going to be the hearing about why are we spending so much money on these apes that have come from the future.
But what I kind of expected was to see Hassline rubbing his hands together like I've done
Finally.
I'm showing them as these evil apes with them. But instead, what do we get? We get like a shot of this right before the end, right? Cornelius sitting in his little robe watching
the news. Yeah.
And there's a spent bottle of champagne behind him. His feet are propped up there, which apparently they've made because he's not wearing his shoes, but he's wearing some kind of slippers or something so that we see fake ape
They look
feet.
like they look like a hand in there.
Yeah.
So we cut from the seesaw to the television set, and the reporter finishing the set, and he's basically, and it's in the script. So it was supposed to have Zira's clinking glasses to cut from the dresses, to Zira's pet line, to the grape juice, to Cornelius saying, very human. And then Dane has it going, party apparently continuing, but for a second or two without sound over this newscaster's voice. So whoever was on set, whether it was Dane himself or whatever, they dragged this moment out to make it look more debaucherous and insane and crazy than it was originally in the script. It was a party, it was a fun party, and then we get back to kind of Cornelius just lounging on a chair watching this all unfold on the news.
But let's also take a look at how these 5 minutes play out if you watch them as a movie instead of minute by minute. They play out as two apes who've been put in a foreign land, gone to a Senate committee, they've been abruptly confronted with these humans asking the questions. Suddenly they're the strangers in the strange land having fun, dressing up, playing the roles of what they're supposed to be, and they're having a party.
It is.
And at the end of it, it's Cornelius almost reflecting like, oh, wasn't that a great time? So it's intended to be exactly that. They've had a lot of fun. Now he's,
If you think about it, and I haven't thought about it literally until right now, this whole 5 minutes is a montage scene, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Can you think of another 5-minute montage that you've seen
No.
in a movie? I mean, Rocky training is
It's usually
a
2
minute,
minutes.
2 minutes at the most. This is 5 minutes of changing clothes,
yeah.
having a party.
But you can start thinking that maybe some of this kind of thing, because this is 71, we really started getting some of those montage things the late 70s, early 80s, where it's cut to Gonna Fly Now and things
To
like
a musical
that. Right.
instead of just
okay.
3 minutes at the most.
And that's a great point to that I will defend against the musical and people put it down. You've been watching musicals. Rocky is a musical. At the point when he runs and they're singing a song that tells you what is going on, that's a musical. The only thing this does not have is a music element to tell us what we should be feeling.